we could empower people with the technology that could change their lives. So now we would have these tools of energy medicine, science, communication, where we could push back against the narrative and empower people with freedom. And we've combined those efforts together.
Yeah. And you are the first in the world to hear about this collaboration. And I will just tell you, as we kind of tease it along here, I will just tell you that this collaboration, this untitled, unnamed collaboration, has already created a ripple effect of healing within my company. So we have a team of incredible filmmakers that travel all over the world. We have about 6 films in productions at all times. So when things come up, I have a researcher in North Carolina right now, and whatever's happening, whatever the media is lying to us about, we send teams there and we start to find what's really happening. The mainstream media, but here's the deal: we get more views than they do, and they hate it. And so it's been a real delight because we've done so much effort to fix the problems out there. But in the past year, maybe verging on 2 years now, I've been saying that real change happens in here. And we all need to take responsibility for the life that we're co-creating, the world that we're co-creating, the society that we're co-creating. And we have to first get healthy, because if we're not healthy, and then we look at the human organism, we can't really complain that it's not healthy, because we are cells in the body of that organism. And so the work that we're focused on now is solution-based, because we all know there's a problem, and we all know there's a multitude of problems. The problems are going to continue to be there. And so what are we going to do that we're aware of the problems, but we activate that incredible, infinite, brilliant human creative spirit to rise above those problems and create solutions to each of them, because that's when we really expand and grow our intelligence. And so we are focused on all the elements that have been, the secrets that have been kept from us, regarding ways that we are supposed to eat, we're supposed to drink, we're supposed to experience the powers of nature. As I always say to people, I'm a believer in medicine. I'm not against medicine. I'm against corrupt medicine. I'm against the politics of medicine. I'm against the medicine that is there to keep us sick and unhealthy so that they get rich. And I always say, if you just stop for a moment, because I think that we're moving so fast and we're so distracted by these little things that you guys are holding up right now. We're so distracted by design that we forget to stop and to understand just how magnificent this experience of life is. Every medicine and food that we need grows from the ground. And it is often in primary colors and in the shape and design of the very organ it's meant to affect. You crack open a carrot and you look at the inside of a carrot, and it looks like the pupil of an eye. And guess what? It's great for your eyes. A bell pepper, 4 chambers in the shape of a heart, and guess what? It's good for your heart. Avocado in the shape of the cervix with a seed in the middle, and guess what it's good for? And we go on and on. A walnut. Open that up. It looks like a little mini brain with 2 hemispheres, and it's brain food. It's almost as if God said, children, one day you're going to lose your way, so I'm going to make these things look like exactly what they're meant for, in primary colors like Legos, so you don't get confused, and they're pretty enough to fascinate you that you might eat them. And then we have these industries going, no, look away from all that, look away from all of that. And just use the synthetic stuff here that's going to keep you dependent upon our system. And with people, the gift of COVID, I've traveled all over the world, met with audiences this size and smaller, all over the world, is that people are waking up to realize that. They're waking up to understand the potential of the human body when we feed it right, when we understand the power of light, the power of water, and really take control of what it is that we put into our bodies and what we put out, we broadcast out of our bodies. We're responsible for that. And I've seen it around the world, I've said COVID unleashed and awakened and gave birth to a generation of citizen journalists. Because in 2020, I could send out my latest research, and I could go in front of an audience like this, and I could tell you my latest research, and people would go, no way, what? I can't do that anymore. Now I can tell you what I think is the most mind-boggling information, and half the audience goes, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I shared it yesterday. Oh yeah, I know that. Everybody's aware now. They're aware, they're awake, they're sharing information online, and you're paying attention. And we're particularly paying attention to what's happening within our government. And that's the thing that we're working so hard to reshape right now. But it all starts with what we do on the inside. So that's why when this opportunity came up, and there's some people I want to thank that couldn't be here today because they're so busy. My team is on a flight right now, I believe, to do an interview that might pertain to this collaboration up here, perhaps. And so they couldn't be here. So I want to thank Matthew Guthrie, Tyler Lindsay, Eric Felderhoff, my wife who is here, my wife and children are here, right there. My wife is my producing partner. I want to thank Jim Caldwell. I want to thank David. Thank you so much, because it's changing the shape of our business already. I was telling him backstage that, you know, we spend 12 hours a day, at least 5 days a week, and we look at all the footage, and some of it's really bad. We see the footage that gets blurred out on the news. We see the raw stuff. And we become thick-skinned because we love what we do and we know we're in service. We know that we're on the right side of history, so that keeps us going. Yet, we're susceptible to the negativity at times, and it can sometimes weigh us down. And the project that we're so honored to be collaborating on right now has changed the DNA, literally, of my company, such that we're starting to feel a lightness within our work. And it's been therapeutic for us in so many ways that I thank you so much, because there's so much more light infused in the work that we're doing now, and you're about to see a little bit of that. And it's been a real honor. But last but not least, I want to thank a friend of about 20 years, Beanie Casey. Beanie Casey has been a dear friend of my wife's and mine for a number of years, and without her introduction to David, this project that we're about to unveil in front of you right now would not be possible. So thank you, Beanie, so much. Thank you so much.
So I think we probably teased them long enough. So, dear family, our Lifeway family, we introduce you to a new technology this morning, our water technology, our water machine. And I know you're excited about it. You want to share it with the rest of our community, your brand partners, your customers. But what if we could bring this technology to the rest of the world so that everyone can hear about LifeWave and light-infused water? So let's take this opportunity to show you a teaser trailer for a LifeWave water documentary. Let's take it away.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
I was about 7 years old, and we had a family get-together at my grandparents' house. And one of my uncles was an inventor for Bell Labs, an extremely successful inventor.
Sweet dreams, little friends, and now for the Mandarin.
hits on me. So we went up into the attic. Being in that environment, something started to really resonate with me. I just thought this was the coolest thing. There was something covered by this blanket. My cousins took the blanket off, and I saw this incredible machine. It had all of these tubes, electronic controls, dials, and I was immediately fascinated. It was then that I knew that I want to be an inventor when I grow up. My name is David Schmidt. I am a husband, father, inventor, and the CEO and founder of LifeWave. From when I was young, I always had an interest in exploring the world and learning about how things work. We didn't have the distraction of cell phones and computers, so I spent a lot of time outside with my friends, exploring the natural world, looking at insects, going for walks in the woods, and trying to understand how all these things in nature function and enjoying the beauty of it.
So we've asked science to tell us who we are. We have an answer, and many scientists are not comfortable with where that answer is leading.
The origin of life problem is, I think most scientists today claim that that is the most difficult problem. We still face it. Sometimes people talk about, well, we could create life in the lab, but in that case, it's usually an intelligent design explanation because you have the scientists with their intelligence, bringing together chemicals, not that they find in nature, but from a chemical supply company, and then putting them together in some very intentional way.
Science is arriving at the place where our ancestors invited us to begin. And that is with the understanding that we are part of, rather than separate from, the world around us. Could it be that who or whatever is responsible for us left us a message? If this is true, where would we look for proof?
God has left his fingerprint in nature and in natural design. And by studying nature with this perspective, we can unlock some secrets that have been hidden. The DNA is thought of as a reservoir or a repository of information, but actually it's much, much more than that.
There's a message encoded into the DNA of all life. What it says is that the elements that make us who we are not random. And as we begin to embrace what that means, that we're part of everything that we see happening in the world, it gives new meaning to what it means to be human. Not only are we more than the product of random processes, we are designed to interact with the world around us as well as the world within us.
In our DNA, there is actually a link to the ether where light is emitted.
Light is information. We are constantly receiving information and transmitting information into the world around us, into the field around us.
Light, as it turns out, is the primary control mechanism for everything else that happens in the body. If we can understand the language of the DNA, the code by which this all works, that means we can use light in an entirely different way to improve our health, our quality of life, and even change the way we age. What if we could have an external electromagnetic field that would essentially reset the stem cells that are already in our bodies and get them to function like younger, healthier cells? What if we could embed wavelengths of light into water that would trigger the regenerative mechanisms and cause people to heal at a rate as when they were younger? What if we actually found out that in a book that was written thousands of years ago, that information already existed? The first sentence of the book of Genesis is about, in the beginning, how God created the heavens and the earth. So when God was creating the heavens and the earth, there was a mathematical blueprint, and that blueprint shows up in nature. And it happens to show up in organisms that don't age. The mathematical codes are identical. The implications to this are absolutely extraordinary.
There's a new philosophy that is emerging in the scientific community. And the philosophy simply says that consciousness informs itself through its creations. And I think it's no accident that it's only now, at this time in history, only now, that we find a message that reveals the deep truth of our existence. The question is, what is our potential? What are the limits of a human body?
What drives me is that there's this enormous sense of hope that we can create technology to generate clean energy, that we can have foods that aren't genetically modified, and we can meet all of the needs on the planet that we have to, and that we can heal people and give them their lives back. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. There is more information there